Can we talk about Machu Picchu? I was scrolling, as one does, on TikTok, and I came across a video of who I believe was an archaeologist talking about the Incan civilization in Machu Picchu. And I was like, I want to go there. But of course, I don't physically travel, I have to astrally travel. And when I astral travel, I typically end up communicating with the spirits of the region and the land, guides, whatnot. So I went to Machu Picchu, and it was everything you'd hope it would be. I was led up the steps of Machu Picchu, and on that big, huge mound that's like a pyramid kind of thing, I guess. And I was led up the steps to the top where the shaman gather and do their work, and where sacrifices and happened and stuff. And I communed with this shaman. He gave me a bowl of something to drink. I'm guessing some kind of vision quest drug that they used. And I sprouted wings like a big condor or eagle and was able to soar over the mountains and the trees. And he communicated to me the entire time about their society, their culture, and their spirituality. And it was an incredibly efficient society. They took care of each other. Everybody was equal. It was very matriarchal that way, and everybody was equal and taken care of, and everybody contributed in any way that they could. So even people like me who were disabled would contribute in other ways. But their religion, first I was led up and they were going to show me what it was like to be a sacrifice, because they would do human sacrifices. And I was told first the only sacrifices that happened were completely voluntary. People wanted to be initiated into an order, and they wanted to be a sacrifice that would go to their God of creation, and then they would become one with the entire society. And essentially it was blood magic. They would feed their society with themselves, and it was an honor. It felt like an honor. And if anybody showed fear or had cold feet, they didn't do it. So nobody was coerced or anything like that. And then I was shown that how they evolved that tradition over time into, it would turn into animal sacrifices and food sacrifices, and eventually the human sacrifices became symbolic. And I was standing there on the mound, and somebody came down with a blade of some sort, and they just pricked my chest, and the blood was symbolic. And when that happened, your blood was mixed with everybody's blood, not literally, and you became one with the people, and the people became one with you, and you were all one with the land and the gods. And it was about community, and everything you did to somebody else and yourself, you did to everyone. Everything everyone else did to somebody else and to themselves, they did to you. And it was very enlightening. And then, I was shown like their textiles. They would weave their own fabric, and they had their own crops and agriculture, and it very advanced scientifically and spiritually, and it was just an amazing culture until the Spaniards came. And the ones who they knew the Spaniards were coming up there in Machu Picchu. They knew. And so the ones who survived, they scattered. And what they did is they took their hearths with them. So coals from their hearths, because that was their home. Their hearth was their home. So they picked up as much as they could of their hearths and just what they needed, and they scattered. I got that they scattered to the mountains and the trees, and they lived in the mountains and the trees. And so when the last of the Incas were conquered by the Spaniards, there were still people who survived, and they're called mountain people now. They still live in the mountains to this day. And in the trees. I kept getting that they live in the trees. So, Machu Picchu, 10/10, would recommend. It was amazing. Being that condor and flying overhead. It was awesome. Okay, I love you, bye.